In this video, I'm going to break down exactly how Tori Trades make 7 figures per month. You will learn how she gets 5 million plus views without flashy editing and the only kind of videos to make to outsell your competition even if you are in a saturated niche, and A to Z breakdown of a 7 figure webinar funnel so you can just copy paste everything for your offer. The big picture of her entire system is getting a lot of traffic from Instagram and YouTube and sending that traffic to a webinar funnel, and then having an email sequence to pre-handle all of the objections and building trust and the actual webinar and closing people. Okay, let's start with Instagram. And on Instagram, she has 700k followers, and the first line of the bio mentions that she is in the trading for 10 plus years. And if you just, watch her profile as a lead perspective or as a viewer, when somebody is in a niche for 10 plus years, you see them as an authority, you see them as a person who has a lot of credibility, right? Because if they are doing something for 10 plus years, then they must have the mastery of that one particular thing. And that's exactly what this proof does for her. It put her in a authority position in which you see her as a person who knows something about trading to, she is the person to learn trading from, right? And then she has the big idea, or like the angle that she takes for sell her coaching, which is trading does not have to be complicated, right? So people think that trading is hard, and it's like it's very hard to learn, but she moves with the idea that trading is easy, right? And then we have some simple links to her different social media, which is like TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, and uh, the main traffic from Instagram, from her bio, goes to the webinar funnel, which I'm gonna break down in a minute. But that's it with the bio. And then we have the highlights, and the first two highlights simply pushing the platforms that she use, and they have the affiliate links, right? And then we have a YouTube highlight, and this basically pushing the traffic from Instagram to YouTube, right? So if you're scrolling her reels and you check out what she has got, like what other thing she has got, then you would simply click on this highlight and watch the YouTube channel as well, right? And then we have the reels. And before understanding the reel strategy, you have to understand this very most important marketing principle, which is people only buy from people whom they know, like, and trust. If you sell any kind of high ticket offer, if you can make people know you, like you, and trust you, you can sell anything in this page. Whether that's $10 ebook or 5K course, you can sell anything if you can make people trust you, know you, and like you, right? And that's exactly what happens in her entire strategy on Instagram and on YouTube. And on Reels, she is making three kind of reels. The first one is mindset slash lifestyle reels. The second one is trading proof, and she simply shows the live trading process and the profits that she's making, and it again position her as an expert in trading. And then she shares the specific trading strategies, right? So the goal of the mindset and lifestyle reels is to basically attract new people to her profile, so basically tap into that unaware market, unaware audience, more broad tab, so that more people can join her funnel, join her ecosystem, so that she can further convert more people into her coaching program. And at this point, they are just simply scrolling the reels, watching her lifestyle, watching her on vacations, and living the life that she is living due to trading. And you get to know her and like her, right? So the first two things are already fulfilled in reels, right? So then we have the trust building reels, which is basically pushing the proof and sharing specific tactics about trading. So this alone put her in a position of authority, and it basically build a trust, right? So if a person is talking about some very niche strategies about something, you get to know that okay, this person knows something about this thing, and I can trust her, right? I can trust this person to learn trading from. And that's exactly what these two reels does. And then we have the simple overview. So the most of the like reels that she's posting is basically mindset and lifestyle, which is simply attracting like more audience to her, more eyeballs to her profile. And the second type of content she's posting, which is trading proof, which is like live trading and showing profits, and like just sharing the stories and everything. And then we have the specific trading strategies. So she would be on a either a podcast or just clips from YouTube, where she breaks down some complex topic of or some complex strategy of trading in simple words and share on Instagram, right? So that is it with Instagram, and let's just move on to YouTube. And on YouTube she has 600K subscribers. And again, these videos are fulfilling the rule of making people knowing you, liking you, and trusting you, right? And she is posting two type of videos. The first one is vlogs and lifestyle. The second one is hardcore trading content for people who already watch her and who already are subscribed to her, right? So the goal of the vlogs and lifestyle content is to again attract new eyeballs, new audience, so that they can join her ecosystem, they can get to know her and like her, right? And the goal of the hardcore trading content is to basically make people basically trust her, right? And put her it basically put her in a position of authority. So you find Tori as a person who is an expert in trading. And if you are thinking about learning trading, and you wanna like learn trading, so you find Tori as a person to basically the go-to person to learn trading from, right? And on YouTube, as you can see, so the majority of the videos are simply very niche, trading videos. So if you know nothing about trading, you won't click on these videos, right? Because the language, the titles, the thumbnails are specifically made for the people who already know a thing or two about trading, right? But you would definitely click on these kind of videos in which she is on vacation, buying cars, right? And sharing her personal experiences, stories, and all. So the point is like attract majority of new eyeballs with these lifestyle content, vlog content, right? And then once you know that okay, Tori does trading, and trading is the vehicle that she has used to basically live this lifestyle, then you start watching more trading content, so you can live that lifestyle as well. And then you basically join her webinar funnel and basically become her customer if you are qualified for that, right? So that is it for YouTube. Now we have one of the most important aspect, which is meta ads, right? So on meta ads, she's taking the angle in which the angle is trading feels hard, but it shouldn't be, right? So I think there is this a common belief among traders, among beginner traders, that trading feels very hard when they try to trade. They just cannot understand the charts and all. So she's just simply hammer that one belief, and just simply moves with that in the first line, which is the biggest pain, which is trading is hard, right? And then she explains that the reason it is hard because there are too many options, too much information, and too much information is simply a source of confusing yourself, right? And then she offers a new solution, and a new solution is simply doing the opposite, right? So at this point, trading is hard, and you have seen YouTube videos, you are consuming content, and you're pretty much confused that okay, this person is saying that, this person is saying that, who do I believe, right? And then she says that okay, she found success when she did something totally opposite. So at this point you are very curious to know that okay, what she did that made her successful when she did something opposite, right? So what is that opposite, right? And then the solution begins, which is keeping trading as simple as possible. So it is one strategy, one concept, one instrument, one time frame. So she's pushing that easy motion. And if it is if you are keeping trading as simple as possible, it's simply pushing that easy motion. Okay, then if it's simple, then I can do that as well, right? And once at this point, okay, so at this point that, okay, trading feels hard and I'm consuming too much information, and the solution is to basically doing something opposite. But you don't know exactly what opposite really is. So then she pushed the mechanism, which is like the free live masterclass. And she says that this is where you will gonna access that exact same method that she used. And then she handles the objection, which is basically you don't need to be a finance expert, or you don't need years of experience. You just need somebody to basically put you on the right path, right? And then we have a simple call to action, which is a if you are confused and overwhelming, just click on this link and register for the webinar. And in the video, uh, she is making a trade live and basically showing the profit, which is basically putting her as an expert, right? So on meta ad, if you are like basically reading this ad as a basically totally unaware lead, or a problem aware lead, basically this is for the people who already know what trading is and who already know what there are like solutions out there. So this isn't made for the people who are unaware, right? And then we have the another video, and this video simply explains the problem, the solution, the opportunity, and then simply make a call to action for the webinar, right? So the ad copy for other ads is same, and the videos are different. Like, okay, so in this video she is making a trade live, and on this video she is simply following this exact format but in video, right? And on awareness level, these ads are simply made for the people who are already problem aware and solution aware, right? So these are the people who know that they are stuck in a job or they want to learn trading, and they are only looking for ways to basically learn trading from, right? So they are aware that there is a solution out there that they can use to basically learn trading, and they stumble upon this ad, and they register for the webinar, and then they become a customer. That's it for the ads. And now we have the most important part, which is the exact webinar funnel, right? So when you click on this ad, or you watch YouTube video or from Instagram, all that traffic goes to this one singular webinar funnel. And on the top of that, you have date and timer, so you know exactly when the webinar is happening and how much time left. And it also built some urgency to basically sign up, so you can access that before it goes or before it disappears. Then we have the headline, which is basically big promise and handling the biggest objection. So the big promise is to how to start trading, and the biggest objection is if even if you have no experience. And then again we have date and timer, which is again pushing the urgency, or you know um to like the action to basically sign up for the webinar as fast as humanly possible. And then we have a simple button to register, right? So the format that this entire funnel follows is headline here, right? What to expect, so what you are gonna learn in that webinar, and who this is for, so if you are qualified to even join this webinar, and then who she is. So if you know nothing about her, and if you are totally unaware, like if you are coming from ads specifically, then you won't know who this person is, right? If you're watching the YouTube or Instagram, you would know that okay, Tori is making content and she is a trader and all, right? Then we have again a simple button with scarcity, which is simply saying that okay, limited spots are available. So if you are even thinking about signing up or checking this thing out, you better off just sign up as fast as you can. And once you sign up, you would see this page, which is a simple video of her explaining what to expect and how to prepare, right? And again she says that okay, check your email for the next updates. And that's it for the webinar funnel. Now we have the email sequences, which is one of the most important aspect of any webinar funnel. So as soon as you sign up for the webinar, you would get this calendar confirmation, and also you would get this instant confirmation from Tori. So this simply says that okay, you are officially registered for the private live masterclass, and this is the date when it's happening, and that's it, right? And before 48 hours, then we have this email, and in which it is just working as a reminder, which is we are 48 hours away, and this is when it's happening. And again, she is again pushing the idea that trading does not have to be complicated, right? And then she is simply setting the expectations that what you are actually going to learn in that webinar. And then we have a little bit of proof that okay, this system that she is about to reveal works, right? And then before 24 hours, we have a case study email in which the whole point is to simply show that okay, whatever the system that Tori is using, it works, right? So she like goes from like the entire story, like what it looked like when it finally clicked, right? And it was like 3 and 2 in week 3 and 1440 in week 4. And then she says that this is the same process, that uh generated this result that she is revealing, in that webinar, right? And then again, before 24 hours, we have another case study. So the point is to basically install this belief that whatever system or whatever process that Tori is using, it works, right? So you might have seen a lot of gurus, a lot of traders on YouTube, who are preaching trading and who are just confusing people, right? But this shows that okay, this installs that belief that Tori's system work. Then before 1 hour of webinar, you will get this email in which she is saying that we are 1 hour away from the actual webinar. And then she is simply sharing a simple story. Then you get an email when she goes live. And in case if you missed the webinar and you didn't show up, you would get this exact sequence. So after webinar, if you missed, you can just simply watch the replay. And you know uh the whole point is to make you book a call with her team. Like if you are qualified and if you didn't watch the webinar, didn't hop on the webinar, it's a potential loss deal for them, right? So they don't want that. So they have given you the exact replay of the entire webinar, right? So you can just simply watch it, and if you are qualified, you can just simply become the customer, right? And then simply again, you know you will get another reminder that okay, this is your replay, and just watch it, right? And if you want to watch that replay, you would get this opt-in page, which again wants your name, email, and phone number. And once you fill that, you can just simply watch the entire masterclass replay. And if you are qualified, let's say like you are qualified and you want to work with her, you would simply click on this button, and you can start filling up your application. And first you will simply follow the basic info, then age, then country, and then the profession, then income, then how long have you been trading for, and then the biggest challenge, then the commitment level, and then a simple qualification that okay, are you willing to invest, and then simply done, right? And the setters will basically reach out to you to basically qualify and understand your situation. But I didn't had any setters reaching out to me or any emails once I fill this form. So most of the time, there must be a setter reaching out to you, because in the webinar she says that I'll have my team reach out to you, right? So if you are fit, you can just simply the setter will basically call you. And if you are a fit, you can just simply book a call, and a closer will hop on a call with you, and the sales process will happen. But if you are not qualified, you are simply told that okay, you are not like, you are not qualified for that, right? And then we have the sales process, and in the sales process, the three things gonna happen, right? Either it's gonna be a no show, no close or closed. So for the people who are no show and no closed, they're gonna be simply added to the email list so that they can access the free resources and add it in the follow up emails, and they can just simply become a customer in the future when they have the budget and when they are ready, right? But if you are closed, you can just simply get the payment done and you start the mentorship, right? So that's it. That's the exact entire seven figure trading webinar funnel. And if you want me to help you scale your or launch your high ticket offer on YouTube, you want to launch your webinar funnel or VSL funnel or any kind of offer, just click the first link in the description and schedule a call. God bless.